200 acres. Empty. No wheat, no barley, nothing. And here's what should stop you. He did it in the same week British wheat hit its highest price in years. Not a bad year. Not a bad decision. The opposite. The correct decision, on paper, at a record price. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact number that made empty ground the smartest thing on the farm, and why that same number is sitting on every arable farmer's desk in England right now. I'm Soil Vanta British Farming. If you want the numbers under the headline instead of the headline, subscribe. This is what the channel does. Let's go. Monday, 27th of July. Jeremy Clarkson, writing in The Sun, drops a line almost nobody actually read carefully. 200 acres of his farm, nothing grown. And his reason wasn't weather, wasn't disease, wasn't the council. He said they knew, before a seed went in, before a drop of diesel burned, that planting it would lose money. Read that again. Not feared, not suspected, knew. So somebody sat down with a spreadsheet, ran 200 acres of prime Cotswold ground through the numbers, and concluded the most profitable thing to do with it was absolutely nothing. That's the whole video. Now let's prove it. Here's the assumption everyone made when this story broke. Prices must have crashed. Grain in the gutter, no buyers, market broken. That would explain it. That is not what happened. Week ending 24th of July 2026. The week before Clarkson's column ran, November feed wheat futures closed at $109.75 a ton, up £3.50 on the week. And 2 days earlier, the contract touched 207 has, the first time it broke £200 all year, a contract high. In the same week he shut the field down. So say that plainly. Clarkson looked at his own land at the best wheat price in years, and concluded growing wheat on it would lose him money. That's not a bad year. That's a broken equation. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every August, AHDB publishes what it actually costs to grow next year's crop. Winter wheat, 2026. Harvest, 1659s per hectare, up 3% on the year before. Biggest driver? Fertilizer, pushed up by gas prices that stayed high through the entire buying window. 1659 per hectare to grow it. $109.75 a ton to sell it. Divide one by the other, and you get the number that explains this entire story. 8.31 tons per hectare. That's not the yield you need to profit. That's the yield you need to break even, just to end the year where you started. So what does English wheat actually yield? Last season's national average, 7 tons per hectare. Good conditions. Dry spring. Decent grain. Still short. 7. Against a break-even of 8.3. At the best price this market has printed in years, the average English wheat farm doesn't reach break-even. And almost nobody said that number out loud until Clarkson's field did the talking for him. 200 acres is 81 hectares. Cost to plant it, roughly £134,000. Sell it at 7 tons, $199.75 ton. Comes back worth roughly £113,000. Gap, £21,000. At a near record price. Now push the price to the actual high of the week, $207. Best number the market printed. The field still loses about £17,000. Let that sit. The best wheat price in years, and 200 acres of decent Cotswold ground still can't pay for itself. Those empty acres? On the numbers, they were the most profitable part of Diddley Squat's arable operation this year. Because they cost nothing. Two things. Because this channel doesn't do one-sided. First, 1659 is the full economic cost. Rent, labor, machinery capital, all of it. Strip that back to just variable costs. Seed, fertilizer, sprays, and the picture improves a lot. Plenty of farmers plant on that basis, and there's nothing wrong with it. But full cost answers the real question. Is this land, labor, and equipment earning anything at all? On that measure, even at a contract high price, it doesn't wash its face. Second, these are national AHDB averages, not Diddley Squat's actual accounts. Clarkson hasn't published a field-by-field breakdown, and I'm not going to pretend he has. What the national numbers prove isn't his exact ledger. It's that his decision wasn't eccentric. It's arithmetic. Any arable farmer in England could run this morning and land on the same answer. A lot of them have. Here's the part that actually made headlines, and it's not really about the field. Britain has a new Prime Minister, Andy Burnham, sworn in July 2026, and his first DEFRA appointment is Dame Angela Eagle. Clarkson's column raised a pointed question about her background. No experience running a farm, no experience running a business. Whatever you think of how he phrased it, here's the structural point underneath. Eagle has spent 2 decades in Whitehall and the Treasury, not making the call this video just walked you through. 831 tons per hectare isn't abstract to a farmer. It decides whether a field gets drilled at all. Clarkson says he expects things to get worse for farmers under the new government, not better. Having run the numbers ourselves, it's hard to argue the current settlement is working. So what happens to land that won't pay to grow food? Clarkson's own answer: rented out to anaerobic digesters, solar farms, half-joking, data centers. Here's why that should worry you more than it probably does. Nobody has to decide to end British food production for this to happen. No vote, no announcement. It happens one field, one spreadsheet at a time, exactly like it just happened on these 200 acres. Multiply that decision by every arable farm running the same numbers, and you've changed what this country grows without anyone officially deciding to. Fair pushback. Clarkson isn't exactly a struggling farmer. TV deal, farm shop, pub, brewery. He said himself the entertainment money is what keeps Diddley Squat alive. Most farms don't have that. All true. But flip it. If the best resourced arable operation in the country, global TV series, 250,000 shop visitors a year, a brewery and pub subsidizing it, still can't make 200 acres of wheat pay. Clarkson isn't the exception that proves farmers are fine. He's the best funded operation in Britain, going public with a number everyone else has been swallowing quietly. This is a farm that's spent 5 series diversifying into everything except arable farming. Now, for the first time, it's publicly walked away from 1/5 of its own ground. Not from a bad harvest, but from a spreadsheet, at the best wheat price in years. Not that Clarkson abandoned 200 acres. That he ran the numbers, found English wheat needs 8.3 tons a hectare to break even while the country's averaging 7, and said out loud what a lot of farmers worked out privately and told nobody. Here's what I actually want in the comments. If you farm, drop your real cost of production per hectare for winter wheat this year. Just the number. I want to know if Clarkson's 200 acres is an outlier, or if he's just the only one with the national newspaper column and nothing left to lose by saying it. If you don't farm, tell me this instead. When you find out empty ground is the profitable option, what does that tell you about where British food is heading? This channel's got viewers on every continent asking some version of the same question right now. Tell me where you're watching from. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.